During the final days of the Vietnam War, North Vietnamese forces made their way to the south to take total control of the country. When they captured the Bien Hoa Air Base, they were in awe of what the Americans and South Vietnamese had left behind before retreating to Saigon to surrender to the People's Army of Vietnam. Weapons, helicopters, ground vehicles, and jet aircraft were seized. Among them were sleek Northrop F5 fighters, the direct competitors of the renowned Soviet Mig21 supersonic fighters. The Soviets took notice and immediately dispatched Russian specialists to arrange for the aircraft's transportation. Their new valuable possession could make a crucial difference in future air military combat against the U.S. Falling into the wrong hands. Acquiring secret blueprints or even project prototypes from enemy nations is not an uncommon practice while in wartime. During the Cold War era, both the US and the Soviet Union were accused of stealing information from each other through spies and intelligence departments. Double agents from the American CIA and the Soviet GRU were the bridge to maintain the balance of the Cold War, as the late 1950s saw a resurgence in the development of weapons of mass destruction, spacecraft, and supersonic aircraft. When pilots fell into combat zones, they were often advised to destroy their fighters to prevent the enemy from seizing them. Nevertheless, when Saigon abruptly fell to the North Vietnamese on April 30th, 1975, American intelligence could not safeguard the aircraft and equipment that they had provided to the South Vietnamese army. Just 5 days before the North Vietnamese overran the South's capital, they arrived at the Bien Hoa Air Base, located 25 kilometers from Saigon, near the Dong Hai province. After intense days of combat, the outnumbered South Vietnamese forces retreated, and the Communists took over one of the most significant bases that the U.S. Army, Marines, Navy, and Air Force used for safeguarding resources and launching offensives. The North Vietnamese were startled to witness so much intact American equipment, supplies, ground vehicles, and aircraft. Among the aircraft left behind were Boeing CH-47 Chinook and Bell UH-1 Huey helicopters, as well as Cessna A-37 Dragonfly, F-4 Phantom, and Northrop F-5A and F-5E Tiger fighters. More than 800 aircraft were seized by the People's Army of Vietnam. 85 of them were F-5As, and 27 were F-5E variants. As a way of thanking the Soviet Union for the support they had received from them during the war, the North Vietnamese government offered them some of the captured enemy aircraft. 4 Northrop F-5Es, 4 Cessna A-37 Dragonflies, several choppers, and AIM-9 Sidewinder missiles were sent to the Da Nang Air Base, where Russian specialists were expecting the cargo. The Soviets were also given the aircraft's flight manuals and maintenance spare parts. After loading all the seized goods onto ships, they were finally transported to the Soviet Union in November of 1975. Russian pilots were eager to run some tests on their new American possessions. Comparing aircraft. This footage shows the American aircraft being operated in Soviet markings against their MiG-21. Some of the pilots who flew the F-5E Tigers were Nikolai Stogov, Vladimir Kondorov, and Alexander Bezhevets. The Tigers were pitched against the MiG-21 and MiG-23M Soviet jet fighters to determine their capabilities against each other. Although the MiG-21 had an upgraded engine and more advanced range than its counterpart, it lost more than 35 dogfights against the American aircraft. And although the MiG-23 had Mach 2 capabilities, compared to the Tiger's Mach 1.6, the American aircraft's distinctive wing design and sharp nose showed better maneuverability while in combat. During the simulated air battles that occurred at Chekalov's flight test center near the Volga River, Soviet engineers dismantled and thoroughly inspected the F-5 fighters. It's widely believed that the acquired knowledge contributed to the development of their own MiG-23s. By 1979, the Vietnamese had incorporated dozens of captured F-5 Tigers into their regiments, along with their Soviet aircraft. They would eventually create the 935th Regiment with only American F-5s. In 2016, a Russian Su-27 flanker was spotted dogfighting with an American F-16 in Area 51. It's hard to know how much technology the world's biggest superpowers have been stealing from each other throughout the years.